The question is, yesterday in our car park review, did the battery die?
Yes.
I think it was pretty obvious, because I just stopped mid-sentence. I was talking, we were in flow, one take going, as with our last car park review, we were doing it all in one take, and then it just went, bloop. I went, oh shit, why, oh why does it happen? And it happened. So we decided we're gonna do a full, proper review, because I don't think the car park review exactly did it justice, even though I feel like we said a lot in that 2 minutes.
I would actually call this fortuitous, because of all the films of last year, this is the film I'm glad we're doing a full review for, right? Godzilla -1, absolute banger, but before that, we have to do
that thing that we call Fact of the Day! Page number 212, fact number
1.
Crime, disease, and average walking speed increase by 15% as a city doubles in size. And I'll tell you, in Godzilla -1, when Godzilla comes by, all those things go down by 99% because he destroys 99% of everything.
Correct.
There we go. Hey, NarendraTheComic here. Yes,
Day.
and right now we're going to be doing a review of Godzilla -1, or as Ken Watanabe would say in 2014's Godzilla, Godzilla -1. That's what they'd say. This is just how it goes. That's how it sounds in the movie.
Sure.
Right.
Sure it does. This was checking all the boxes. Now, just in case you don't know, these are the boxes, right? Character, story, pacing, music, visuals, CGI. I'm telling you, there was not one box that was left unchecked, especially for this darn budget.
Yeah, $20 million supposedly was the budget, and you could not tell this wasn't a $200 million movie. It looked like they'd spent absolute boatloads on it. There were only a couple of instances where I thought, that shot of Godzilla is a little bit questionable, but because of the way they designed Godzilla and they showed the progression of his size increasing, you kind of got away with the clunkiness of his movement to some degree as he got bigger.
Look, I will say, that first shot we got of him, it was giving T-Rex.
Jurassic Park.
Oh yeah, don't forget T-Rex. Terrifying.
Yeah.
Really large,
Especially
very
if you
dangerous.
get one the size of the Empire State Building.
And then when you add on these powers that in theatre, on that screen, looked so freaking incredible.
I was surprised, even though we saw the trailers of the charge up. It was absolutely mesmerizing.
It was, and actually the thing that really is the tester is the response. This theatre, it was a small screen because it is quite late in the day we're watching this, but it was reasonably packed, and the silence, and then the gasps.
There was silence and there was gasps, but there was one very odd individual who was just laughing throughout the movie.
Oh.
And he was with his significant other, and she was just crying throughout it. I don't know if he was laughing at her, I don't know if he was laughing at what he was seeing on screen, but almost everyone's heads in the cinema turned to him like, what on earth are you doing?
Look, I don't want to give away when it was, but for the people who've watched the film, it was like the big moment in the film. Like the big one everyone's been waiting for. Everyone's just really tuned in. The tension's high. That was the laugh.
What on earth was I listening to?
It wasn't a sort of like, oh wow, wasn't expecting that. No, the plan had been laid out. Everyone was expecting this. This was just the climactic moment.
And I think what made it worse is that there was that extended silence and it so heavily broke it. It was very, very confusing. But something that was great in this movie was the fact that they used silence better than I've seen it used in years.
Yeah, I would say that the use of silence in this was better than the use of silence in Oppenheimer. For so many portions of this film, my heart was either in my throat or in my stomach. It was just jumping between back and forth. And I really think that the director and the actors did such an incredible job.
And this is the thing, normally in monster movies, the human stuff, everyone wants just to get over with. Everyone hates the characters, no one wants to really be there to watch these stories. But in this case, it was completely the heart and soul of the experience.
With every fibre of my being, I was like, please, Koichi, you have to do it. Please, please, you have to. Akiko, Noriko, we have to get there. I need to see this happen. And without spoiling, I was reasonably happy with the ending, okay?
Oh, I don't know. The end was a little bit questionable.
Okay.
It was the only thing I went, why did you do that? Because it seems like, spoiler alert, Godzilla -1 is either gonna become Godzilla -2 or Godzilla Ground Zero. There's gonna be a sequel either way.
Look, they did lay it out there. I think that they were saying, why close the door? Why close the door fully when, if this is a success and we can get the right people on board and have them come back, we can create another beautiful story.
And I'm not sure if that's going to be a full-on Godzilla story or if it's going to be a Godzilla adjacent story in which humans have been affected by the radiation, because there was a character, not going to spoil, but they seemed like at the end of the movie they had some black stuff on their body.
Yeah.
And it was a little bit, whoa, what's that? And it was only there for maybe 1.2 seconds.
Yeah.
And I think 90% of people didn't notice it.
I don't think anyone noticed it apart from us. Because we turned to each other and went, wait a second. Everyone else just, oh, yeah. Which is perfectly okay. Another thing I do want to bring up specifically is the script. Now, as someone who speaks some Japanese, I think the translation generally was really, really good.
Right.
The feeling and the elements that were being brought across, they did a good job actually dispensing this to an international audience so that that flavour wasn't being diminished.
It wasn't like a full-on transliteration and it wasn't like a bad translation. You felt like they melded the two well.
Yeah, the themes and the sort of feeling, it was coming across really, really well.
I think tonally they did a very good job setting up the movie from the start, seeing this character's journey and their rivalry as a human with Godzilla, and them being the person who is gonna take him down or attempt to take him down in the end. And I think something that really stood out to me was the fact that it wasn't the government coming and doing it. It was the people coming together as individuals to protect their families, to protect their communities, and say, these other idiots are gonna mismanage this and they're gonna mess this up. This is for us to attempt to do.
Yeah, a sense of personal responsibility. With also the Japanese collectivist culture, we're doing this for our society. We're doing this for our future, especially with the backdrop of World War II.
Something else that was astonishingly good was actually the soundtrack. You brought it up. Overall, there was not 1 second where it didn't flow right. They actually cut the sound in the right instances and it made everything feel so much more weighty at the right times.
That's the perfect word, the weightiness. I feel like that heaviness, that grittiness, they held it so well. And here's the thing, if you'd watched the trailers, you were going into this saying, okay, this is going to be gritty, it's going to be dark, they're not going to steer away from it. But they lent in the perfect way, and I think I'm going to be re-listening to this soundtrack a lot.
I'm going to be re-watching this movie. If it's available and it's not a 9 AM showing on a weekend, I'm going to see it again. It has to be up there in the top 3.
I think it's the best movie of last year. It's a shame I didn't actually watch it last year, to be honest.
Yeah.
It's a shame we couldn't get one of those viewings because it would have really rounded off that year perfectly.
I guess the question is it up for any Oscars? I don't know, because the Oscars list is like preliminary and then it gets the actual one. I know the Golden Globes just happened, but no one really cares about them. But is it on any of the major awards sections for the Oscars? I don't know. I believe it should be, because for us, it was up there, one of the best movies of the year. For Nonsensei, her favourite movie of the year. The acting, great. The scoring, amazing. The CGI, shockingly good. I don't know what more you want from a movie. It had everything and more.
Yeah, they really over-delivered, honestly. I feel like our ticket was a bit too cheap, to be
Yeah.
honest. It felt like too high a premium experience.
I would have paid double the price. And I'm a cheap fuck. It's so odd when you actually engage with something and experience it, and you look back on it and say, I wish I could experience it again for the first time. This is one of those. So if you haven't seen Godzilla -1, go see it. It might not be in cinemas for very long, so you better get out there, run into the theaters to get your ticket. That's what I'm saying. Would you agree?
I'm saying...
Nonsensei, the sensei of nonsense of Japanese, is telling you it's what you should be doing. So what should they be doing?
Buying tickets.
There you go. Anyway, guys, if you did enjoy this video, please like, share, comment, and subscribe to the channel down there. If you didn't, Godzilla gonna come after you. You don't want that. None of that atomic breath. Do they want that? No, so just subscribe anyway to avoid that. I've been NarendraTheComic.
I've been Nonsensei.
She's been Nonsensei. You have been Graham. We'll see you next time. That's tomorrow. If you don't know, make a video every single day. Been doing it every day for over 2,000 days now, and we aren't stopping until we get to 10,000 subscribers. So do subscribe. Pop back in tomorrow for some more quality shitty content. So hashtag never not here. Just how it goes. Also, bring the Pukwas means nonsense in Punjabi. We also bring a lot, do a little boy, do indeed bring the quality shitty content on a daily basis. So see you tomorrow for more of the same, slightly different, but essentially the very same. Once more, see you then. Skadoosh.